Right, guys, I've got a bit of a book report for you today. The book is called Why We Sleep. It's by Matthew Walker. You can get it on Audible. Highly suggest that you pick up a copy. I'm going to go over a couple of concepts from the book that really resonate with me. And I think if you're really obsessed with physical training or movement, CrossFit, anything like that, that these concepts will be of interest to you as well. But there is loads more content in the book, and it is all very compelling. So yeah, definitely pick up a copy. It's a really sort of interesting time to be alive at the moment. We have more scientifically validated sort of understanding of how the world works than ever before, and we benefit from that in a way that past generations didn't. But we also struggle with it in that sometimes there's too much information and there's a lot of misinformation out there. So when I find a resource like this that is so well written and it is so well referenced and also so compelling, I get really excited and I like to tell everyone about it, my friends, my members, my family. Partly because I want to help them, but also because by explaining the concepts, it helps me to sort of learn them and remember them and kind of assimilate them into everything I do. So the book obviously is about sleep. And before I read this book, I kind of, like everyone, I knew that sleep was important, but I didn't realize how important it was. I kind of knew sleep was important. I knew nutrition was important. There's a lot of things that are important, but reading this book kind of made me realize that sleep is the foundation. And it actually really put my mind at rest. I realized, like, as an athlete, what's the very next thing I need to do to get better? And if you're not getting that kind of 8 hours of sleep consistently, then that is the very next thing you need to do to get better, and here's why. So first of all, I've got a chart on the board of my own invention. In black, you've got REM sleep. So REM sleep stands for rapid eye movement, and that's the phase of sleep when you have most of your dreams. And then the red sleep is called non-REM sleep. And so if we've got bedtime here and waking up over here, what happens is across the night, the very first sleep cycle is mostly non-REM sleep with just a little bit of REM sleep. And as you progress across the night, you have progressively more REM sleep and less non-REM sleep. Now, why is this important? So REM sleep has many functions, but one of them is to improve your motor control. So if you're playing any sport or doing any physical discipline, whether it's juggling or learning to do a muscle up or a clean and jerk or whatever your desired skill is, you obviously have to put the practice in to improve. But by getting plenty of REM sleep, you'll improve a lot faster. So during that, your brain will basically take that practice and help improve your motor control. And the interesting thing is that because of the way REM sleep works being increasing in quantity across the night, if you're like most people and you sort of skip this last sleep cycle here, you're missing out on the biggest chunk of REM sleep. So this is, say, like 6 hours of sleep, which is what a lot of people get, versus 8 hours. If you get 6 hours instead of 8, you miss out on this huge chunk of REM sleep. And as I said, it's critical to improving your motor control and improving your skills. He also talks in the book about a lot of other things, emotional control. So people who suffer from any sort of mental health things, getting plenty of REM sleep will help kind of make you less prone to emotional overreaction and anxiety and things like that. The other study that I wanted to reference is one about testosterone. Basically studied testosterone levels in young males. And the reason I picked this one is because there was recently an Instagram video with Rich Froning, and he talked about how he did intermittent fasting, and I think he said his testosterone levels went up a lot. So lots of people were Oh, that's great. So testosterone is basically the primary male sex hormone. It's responsible for lots of things, but in terms of athletic performance, it's really important. It's an anabolic steroid, so it's important for building muscle, but also for bone density. Anyway, I kind of did some research and I think, okay, intermittent fasting, does it boost your testosterone? And I actually found 2 studies, and both of them actually showed that the group that did the intermittent fasting actually had a decrease in their testosterone levels. So that's an example of, I'm not saying that Rich Froning didn't experience that increase, but it's like, it's in one person, it's anecdotal. If you've only got 2 data points, that's not the same as conducting a proper scientific experiment with control groups and with a larger group. So the study that was referenced in regard to sleep was done in a group of young 20-year-old men, or roughly 20 years old, and they took their testosterone levels before at the beginning, and then they kind of sleep deprived them. I think they gave them 5.5 hours rather than 8.5 hours of sleep every night for a week. And just in that short amount of time, their testosterone levels went down significantly to the point that they were comparable to men which are sort of 10 to 15 years older. So I thought that was very compelling as well. So 2 things. One, hormonally, you're recharging yourself when you sleep the right amount. You've got this natural testosterone replacement therapy that's happening, and also improve your motor control by getting in this last huge chunk of REM sleep by prioritizing your time in bed. Like moving better is the easiest way to improve at a sport like CrossFit. The reason that is because if you improve your technique and your movement, you don't have to be any stronger. Your heart and lungs don't have to pump any faster. You're just being more efficient. Those neurological changes kind of, they're, in terms of energy expenditure, they are the easiest way to improve. But definitely get the book, Matthew Walker, Why We Sleep. It's my obsession at the moment.